Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are doing Thor Trilogy customs. Now these are from Thor 1, 2, and Thor Ragnarok really. And there's not as many, there's a pretty good amount for each movie. We will not be doing Thor Love and Thunder. If you want to see that, well, just comment it down below. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. So first up, we have Thor himself. Now, I think this custom came out pretty good. It ended up looking way better than I thought. But for this, I gave him this long type of hairpiece in this kind of dirty blonde with a dirty blonde beard. I gave him Mr. Miracle's torso in gray with Orm Gladiator's arms in a light gray to get the kind of chainmail-like features. I gave him, I think it is Sea King's legs in dark blue with dark blue hips and a red cape. And I gave him an electrified hand with a hammer to represent Mjolnir. And I think this custom came out pretty good, and it looks pretty accurate to how he looks in the movies. Next up, we have Loki. This one was really difficult, but I think it turned out okay. For Loki, I gave him this long black hair with these kind of golden shoulder pads. I gave him Jinx's arms in dark green with the Shade's torso in gray. No, Gentleman Ghost's torso in gray. I gave him Prism's legs and hips in dark green with two daggers that he has. And I gave him a custom face print. I think this looks pretty good for Loki, and for a character with a really unique design, it came out pretty good. Next up, this is one someone wanted to see how it would turn out, and I think it turned out good. We have Heimdall, and I used this kind of brownish yellow color for the gold, and for this I gave him this knight helmet in brownish gold with a custom torso that has a black goatee on it. I gave him Felix Faust's torso in that same gold color, and I gave him shoulder pads and Clayface's hips. I gave him dark red and gold arms and legs from Hawkman in that same color scheme, and I gave him his sword that he has. And I think that this looks very good. I actually think it's probably one of the better customs I've made recently. Next up, we have Lady Sif. This one was pretty hard, but I think it turned out pretty good. For the legs, I used Orm's gladiator form in dark red with this dark red hip piece that has some silver detailing. I gave her Donna Troy's torso in light gray with no sleeves and gauntlets around her wrists and some red gloves. I gave her this black long flowing hair with this custom headpiece, and I gave her this dark gray sword. I think this custom turned out pretty good, and we're gonna move on to our next one, which is Odin, also known as Thor's father. I think this one came out pretty good. For this, I gave him this long gray hair with Black Adam's tape in dark red, well, in just normal red. I gave him this custom headpiece with a custom eye patch and a gray beard. I gave him Mr. Miracle's torso in this goldish color with General Zod's arms. I gave him Hawkman's legs in dark gray with these dark gray hips with some golden detailing, and I gave him his staff that he kind of has, his scepter, if you will. Next up, this character was very difficult, but we have the Destroyer, which I think turned out pretty good in the end. But for this, I gave him Grid's legs in light gray with all of these are in light gray, everything here. So we gave him this knight helmet in light gray with a custom head and Vigilante's visor. I gave him General Zod's torso, Cyborg Movie's arms, and these hips all in light gray. And to kind of get the feel he has to him, and I think it turned out looking very good. And the visors are really nice touch. Next up, we have Jane Foster. This one is very simple, but I think it looks very good. For the hips and legs, the legs come from Superboy. and they're in dark blue, like a navy, and I gave her normal navy hips. I gave her Mary from Shazam movies torso in olive green with olive green arms, and I gave her a custom head with some brown long hair. For a very simple custom, it came out really good. Next one, this one was very hard. This is Malaki, and I think it turned out okay, but it's not amazing. For this, I gave him Copperhead's torso in black with this black helmet and Two-Face's face to represent. On the left side is like gray scarring, and on the right side is his normal side. It was really difficult to do, but if you look at it one way, it looks pretty good. I gave him these black and silver arms with what is that? Oh, it's General Zod. General Zod's leg print. And I gave him this kind of stringy cape in all black and this black hip piece. All in all, I think it turned out... Oh, and the head comes from Two-Face. All in all, I think it turned out pretty good, but it's definitely not perfect. Next up, we have Eric Selvig. This one was interesting to make, and I definitely didn't want to make another costume that he kind of... Well, another thing he wears in the movie. So, I thought this one turned out pretty good. I gave him Billy Batson's torso in dark black with black arms from Bronze Tiger. I gave him dark gray hips and legs with this brown scarf and this kind of receding hairline piece and this grayish tan with this wrinkled face print. I think this looks pretty good for him, and a very simple custom once again. Next up, we have Thor's mother, Frigga. This one came out pretty good. The legs come from Felix Faust, and the hips come from... I don't know exactly, but I just gave her some gold detailed hips. The torso comes from Big Barda, and the arms come from General Zod. None of these colors needed really to be changed. I gave her this kind of long hair with Poison Ivy's face print, and I gave her this sword to wield. And I think it came out pretty good. We now have two customs left, and one of them is Hela from Thor Ragnarok. For this, I gave her this long black hair with this black eyeshadow around her face print. I gave her no sleeves with black gauntlets, kind of, and no gloves. I gave her two swords and a green and black cape. No, a dark green cape. I gave her Metallo's legs to get some dark green in there. And I put the Felix Faust's hips in black with a custom torso in black and dark green. I think this came out pretty good for Hela because she has a very kind of hard to capture design with her helmet. So I thought I'd go helmet off, and I think it turned out pretty good. Lastly, we have the Grandmaster. I think this came out pretty good, but it was really difficult to get his chin stripe. So for that, I gave him this kind of I just made his hair blue, and I gave him this kind of chin beard that looks pretty good for it. And I gave him a tanner skin tone with Felix Faust's arms, no change needed. I gave him this dark red. I gave him Hugo Strange his hips in dark red with Hugo Strange's legs and this brownish yellow color, this kind of gold, honestly, and Captain Boomerang's torso in that same color. And I gave him this gray spiky hair. I think it came out pretty good looking in the end, and that will do for our final custom of the video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!